Good evening. Welcome to the Calexico City Council, Calexico Redevelopment Successor Agency, Calexico Financing Authority, regular meeting agenda. Today's day is Wednesday, the November the 2nd, 2022. Time is 5:36. Closed session, call to order. Due to the declaration of emergency, this meeting is being held pursuant to AB 361, approved by the Governor of California on September 16, 2021. And some or all the City Council members may participate in this meeting by teleconference. Pursuant to Imperial County Public Health Department guidelines, City Council meetings are now open to public attendance at 100% capacity of the council chambers. Public participation will continue to be available in the following ways. Members of the public are encouraged to watch the meeting via live stream at http communityspectrum.org live at 6:30 p.m. or via the Calexico City Hall Facebook page at www.facebook.com City of Calexico CA. Members of the public will be able to make public comments in the following ways. In-person comments. Submit public comments via email by 2 p.m. on Wednesday, November 2nd, 2022 to our city clerk at email address cityclerk@calexico.ca.gov or via fax to 760-768-2103. You may make public comments via Zoom from a PC, Mac, iPad, iPhone, or Android device. And the telephone to dial is 1-669-900-6833. The webinar ID number is 828-7591-7380, and the passcode is 948780. I will take roll call. Mayor Javier Moreno here. Mayor Pro Tem Raul Ureña.
Here.
Thank you. Council Member Camilo Garcia.
Here.
Thank you. Council Member Gloria Romo.
Here.
Thank you. And Council Member Rosie Ariola Fernandez. Thank you. We do have a quorum. Next item is public comments, not to exceed 3 minutes. This is the time for the public to address City Council on closed session items only. The mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name and place of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the council meetings with personal or slanderous remarks. The City Council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing items not included on the printed agenda. Please direct your questions and comments to City Council. Do we have any public comments?
Yes, Ms. Griselda Gonzalez.
Okay. Please.
Good evening, City Council members, Ms. Colio. I'm Griselda Gonzalez, and I'm here on behalf of the CPOA Public Safety Dispatchers, petitioning with all due respect for your support on approving the agenda item that will benefit us dispatchers. Past city administration has created a burden on this city becoming financially irresponsible. This is a time of change to make better decisions and to show your dispatchers support and justice for many years of neglect. The EWing 2006 study suggested that a minimum pay rate for Calexico dispatchers should be of $25 an hour. Now, 17 years later in 2022, our pay rate is still under the suggested $25 an hour. CPOA and other bargaining units received the suggested salary adjustments in 2007, except for dispatchers, represented by CMEA at the time. Since 2007, public safety dispatchers haven't received the appropriate salary adjustments, reflecting the increase in cost of living and inflation. Some dispatchers with over 15 years of service have never received any type of a COLA increase. Public safety dispatchers' pay rate is not competitive as compared to other agencies in the Valley. For example, Brawley dispatchers, they receive $20.86. El Centro dispatchers receive $22.50. ICSO dispatchers receive $25. CHP dispatchers receive $34.62. We're way below that. Our current pay rate in comparison to the call volume received at our communication center proves that dispatchers are underpaid. Dispatchers' wages are not livable and are unsustainable. This year's inflation rate is over 8%. Public safety dispatchers are getting paid less than fast food employees. Calexico Communications Center not only services this community, but receives a third of calls from Mexicali and receives calls from illegal immigrants lost in the deserts of California and Arizona that go undocumented. One single dispatcher takes on a workload of 3. Very often, we work alone during a 12-hour shift where we hold in our bladders until we get an officer to cover and or go to the restroom with a headset to dispatch if needed because there's no coverage. Many times, we are overworked covering covering shifts for other dispatchers so they can get a day off. For all of these reasons, there's dispatchers applying out. This year alone, 2 dispatchers left, creating a vacancy of 3 positions to be filled. In closing, knowing the city is currently not doing too good financially, and we're very appreciative that Ms. Colio has been assisting us with meetings, and the Calexico dispatchers who have not been recognized as of yet by the city as public safety need your support to keep our communication center sustainable and operable. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? No? Okay, next item is adjourn to closed session. A closed session of the City Council, Calexico Community Development Agency successor, Calexico Financing Authority may be held in accordance with state law, which may include, but not limited to, the following types of items: personal matters, labor negotiations, security matters, provide instruction to real property negotiations, and conference with legal counsel regarding pending litigation. The closed session will be held in the City Hall Conference Room located at 608 Heber Avenue, Calexico, California. Any public comment on closed session items will be taken before the closed session. Any required announcements, discussion, or closed session items or actions following the closed session will be made in the City Council chamber at 608 Heber Avenue, Calexico, California. We will adjourn to closed session. It is 5:38. Please come to order. I'll take roll call. Mayor Javier Moreno here. Mayor Pro Tem Raul Ureña.
Here.
Thank you. Council Member Camilo Garcia.
Here.
Thank you. Council Member Gloria Romo.
Here.
Thank you. And Council Member Rosia Arriola Fernandez. Thank you. We have a quorum. Please stand up for a pledge of allegiance. Ready? Begin. Please remain standing. Mr. Garcia, can you help us with the mission statement?
City of Calexico mission statement. Together, we pledge to provide
Effective and efficient services and a purchase
to improve the quality of life for all in an important community. Viva Calexico.
Thank you. Please remain standing. We have invocation by Mr. Raul Ureña.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We start by acknowledging the indigenous land that we are on, the land of the Kumeyaay. We pray to you, dear Heavenly Father. We ask for your blessings tonight to us who have been called to lead the community in which we live and work. Help us as leaders to fix things, to know what we need to learn, how we might need to change, and with whom and to whom we need to listen to. Remind us that no matter where we live, everybody, whether they're LGBT, transgender, all racial and ethnic groups, and all religious credence, to respect one another and protect the least among us. Our children, the elderly, the poor, those who are hungry, those who have no homes, those who are ill in the body, mind, or spirit, the strangers and immigrants in our midst. Grant us the wisdom and courage to know and to do what is right and good and true. May we always be guided by the spirit of the community, by the spirit of justice and the spirit of love. We pray this in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you. Please have a seat. Our next item is closed session announcements.
Thank you, Mayor. City Council went in closed session on the one item in closed session. We did receive direction, but no reportable actions were taken. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Campos. Our next item is approval of agenda.
Motion to approve?
Motion by Mr. Ureña.
Second.
Second by
Mr.
Mr.
Garcia.
Garcia. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, motion carried. The next item is presentations. We have one presentation tonight, and this will be a presentation by Andrea Valdez, Community Insurance Outreach regarding the California Department of Insurance Department.
Okay. Honorable Mayor and City Council members, thank you for the opportunity to present information about the State of California Department of Insurance and the California Low Cost Auto Insurance Program. Again, my name is Andrea Valdez, and I'm an outreach analyst for the department's Community Relations and Outreach Branch. I want to be respectful of your time, so I'm going to share my presentation, but I'd be happy to present at any upcoming events, any community things, been going all around, really promoting the California Department of Insurance. Next slide, please. So today I'm going to start with a brief overview of the California Department of Insurance, also known as CDI. That includes a short update on our current consumer protection, then information on our senior resources, then what the California law on auto insurance is and why you need auto insurance. So I'll introduce you after that to the California low-cost auto insurance program, what it is, how you qualify, and how you can apply for the program as well. So next, I'm going to go ahead and share how we can partner together to share this program with your community. So I want to start by saying that at the California Department of Insurance, we do not sell insurance. We regulate all lines of insurance, including homeowners, auto, life insurance, many more. We also regulate insurance companies, agents, and brokers that sell insurance. In California, insurance companies collect over $340 billion in annual premiums, and that's what you and I pay in premiums. So your current elected insurance commissioner is Ricardo Lara, and he ensures that insurance are solvent, consumer complaints are addressed in a reasonable manner, and insurers and licensees play fairly, in the marketplace. Everything we do at CDI is to protect consumers from fraud and abuse. Next slide, please. So when Commissioner Lara came into office, he listened to California residents and our first responders to tackle the immediate needs. And one of the major issues that we heard across the state is non-renewals. That is a big one, and premium increase for home and businesses. To address the issue this year, Commissioner Lara launched Safer from Wildfires, our state's first large interagency partnership to protect lives, homes, and businesses by reducing wildfire risk. So it's a 3-step program. It is online. You can always go ahead online and take more look at that. Next slide, please. And then another program that I just want to briefly share is we do offer senior resources. So we do have our Senior Gateway Portal, which is a one-stop shop for seniors and their caregivers. It's a partnership between many state agencies with everything in one spot. You'll find information on such topics such as avoiding and reporting abuse and neglect, preventing fraud, healthcare information, and that website is seniors.ca.gov. Next slide, please. So the big thing that I wanted to come here and talk about today was California auto insurance. So why do you need auto insurance? Because it's the law. If you drive a car in California, the law says you have to have evidence of financial responsibility. One way is to buy auto insurance. At minimum, you have to have liability insurance. Liability insurance means if you cause damage to someone else's property, you have to be able to pay for it. It will not cover damages to your car that you caused. If you get pulled over and prove you have can't prove that you have auto insurance, you will be fined, your license suspended, your vehicle possibly impounded. All of these costs cut it up to more than buying insurance from this state-sponsored program. Next slide. So California's low-cost auto insurance was established by the legislature in 1999 as a program designed to provide income-eligible good drivers with liability insurance at affordable rates as a way to meet California's mandatory auto insurance law, regardless of immigration status. The goal of this program is to reduce the number of uninsured motorists in California. A CLCA policy offers the basic minimum liability insurance to drive legally. Next slide. Now, if you're asking yourself, how do I qualify? First, you have to have a valid driver's license. Second, the value of the car has to be less than $25,000 and not financed with a loan. Next, check your income level. It is based on the number of people in your household, including dependents, and you have to be at least 16 years old. And lastly, you cannot have a bad driving record for the past 3 years. If you have more than 1 point on your record or an at-fault accident with bodily injury, you will not qualify. Next slide. So we'll go ahead and look at this income eligibility chart. If you have a 4-person household, the maximum income level is $69,375. This threshold does change every year and is based on 250% of the federal poverty level. If you currently qualify for other state county assistant programs based on income, you will qualify for this program as well. Next slide. So a complete list of acceptable proof of incomes, it is available on our website. But here are just some examples. We do have a paycheck stub, W-2, 1099, or any benefit from unemployment or SSI statement. And if you're currently enrolled in another state or county program, again, like I previously stated, CalFresh, CalWorks, Medi-Cal, you will also qualify for the CLCA program based on income. Next slide. So how do you apply? You can start by going to mylowcostauto.com, take the eligibility questionnaire. It's only 7 questions. You'll fill out an application online, and then an agent will contact you. Or you can also call the number. We do have it in English and in Spanish as well. And that's at 866-602-8861. Next slide. So now you're thinking, I know this is a great program and I want to share it with my organization, city. Great. Here's how you can partner with CDI in this CLCA program. Help us get the word out. I do have flyers here. Share the CLCA program info on your website and social media platforms. Invite us to attend your outreach events. Invite us to speak at your staff's trainings. We are here to help you at CDI. And refers to any other partners that you would think. Next slide. So if you want to apply or have more questions about the low-cost auto program, visit mylowcostauto.com. If you have any insurance-related questions, that's always a big one. No one knows how we exist at the California Department of Insurance. Contact us. If you have a problem, complaint, our number is at 1-800-927-4357. Thank you so much for having me here tonight. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any questions?
No, thank you
again, I
very much.
appreciate it.
The next item is announcements. These proceedings may be viewed on the City of Calexico website at www.calexico.ca.gov the Friday following the City Council meeting. Community Officer Hours Mary Moreno will be held by appointment. Please contact the City Clerk's office at 760-768-2102 to schedule an appointment. Our next item is public comments and public appearances, not to exceed 3 minutes. This is the time for the public to address City Council on any item not appearing on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. The mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please say your name and place of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it's unlawful to disturb or delay City Council meetings with personal or slanderous remarks. City Council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing items not included on the printed agenda. If the item you wish to comment on is on the public portion of the agenda, we will take your comments when we get to the item on the agenda. Please direct your questions and comments to the City Council. I do have 2 items for number 8 on public comments, and I do have 6 of these regular public comments. The first one, we have Mr. Javier Gonzalez. And then you have 2, so you can just stay there and go to the next one. Right.
Make sure to leave one for the public. Director. Director. Pon uno para el público. Sí, acá.
Buenas tardes, en este momento vengo con ustedes como Captain de Kennedy Garden Neighborhood Watch. Esta cosa ya lo habíamos hablado en marzo. Nosotros en 1992, bajo el Departamento de Policía, bajo el alcalde, que era el encargado de coordinar los programas de prevención del delito, nos entrenó a que varios residentes que estuvieron ahí, la concejala Rosie vivía en Kennedy Gardens, Nos hicimos Neighborhood Watch en 1992 porque había mucho crimen. Y no nomás nos hicimos Neighborhood Watch, abrimos un gimnasio de box donde la señorita Fanny, ahí empezó, el campeón del mundo, ¿cómo se llama? Andy Ruiz, también fue el gimnasio. Todo eso lo abrimos para prevenir el delito, ¿verdad? Y cada 10 años íbamos a cambiar los letreros, ya son 30 años. Hicimos la feria de salud y seguridad en abril. Llegó McGraw, nos apoyó el departamento de policía, el señor Legaspi estuvo ahí, nos apoyó Favila, que era el del street manager, y estamos poniendo uno de estos en cada casa. Esta es la tercera vez. Bajo el programa, Javier sabe porque él era el coordinador, la ciudad tenía que haber comprado nunca los compró la ciudad, los compramos los residentes. También compramos el Neighborhood Watch Kit. Pero lo bueno que el departamento tenía el programa. El 2012, el estado de California y la ciudad de Calexico cerraron su programa de prevención del delito, pero eso no dice que no nos pueden apoyar a poner nuestros letreros otra vez. Queremos reponerlos, no cambiarlos, están todos blancos. Eso le dice a un vándalo que ya no existe, que la gente no está activa. Nosotros estamos activos, nuestros residentes siguen ahí. Podemos hacer share, compartir muchos artículos donde dice que el crimen bajó 80%. No sé si se acuerdan cómo estaba Kennedy Gardens, estaba lleno de graffiti, ya no. A ver, hay gente como a mí, me golpearon 13 veces, me navajearon 2 veces, me amenazaron de muerte 5 veces, que quitara esos letreros, y esos letreros siguen arriba. No se van a quitar, y queremos que ustedes nos ayuden y los pongan, porque somos un Neighborhood Watch, necesitamos el apoyo de ustedes para nosotros como residentes cuidarnos a nosotros mismos. Queremos ayudar, ¿verdad? Sabemos que no hay dinero, no hay dinero en muchas ciudades, el crimen está avanzando y no hay dinero público. ¿Por qué no ayudar a los residentes a que se ayuden a sí mismos? Aquí con ustedes está la carta donde nos manda la policía de Calexico. No tiene fecha por lo mismo que no hay vencida. Dice, Dear Neighborhood Coordinator, I would like to take this opportunity to personally extend my appreciation to you for participating in a Neighborhood Watch program as a Neighborhood Captain. Aquí, cada 5 años yo me tengo que registrar. Lo saben ustedes, en el 2018, donde me registro para yo poder enseñarle a los residentes crime prevention, porque un policía no puede hacerlo hoy. Ellos son law enforcement. Entonces, te tienes que registrar para hacer crime prevention. Yo estoy registrado. Aquí está la carta. Para el otro año me tengo que volver a agarrar certification. Y aquí tiene la carta donde dice que todavía todo este año estoy válido para ser Neighborhood Watch Captain. So, por favor, ayúdenos con los letreros. Son 30, se los dimos a la policía, al Public Works, ya los iban a poner. Llegó la administración nueva, dice que no vemos por qué no. Es muy importante. Muchas gracias.
¿Tienes otro, no? Sí.
Now I'm here as an IID Division 4. I got very good news. Just hours ago, the IID launched its free treat for everybody program, free treat for all. All residents in Imperial Valley, customers of IID will be able to get a free treat. We hope that every resident in Calexico takes advantage. It's a first come, first serve. I managed the census. There's up to 6,000 residents in Calexico. Imagine everybody getting a free tree. LED lights. We've reported more than 600 street lights since you gave us the confidence to represent you. But we have good news. Starting December, everything from Andrade to Blair, everything in the middle will be LED. Next year, everything from here all the way to the railroad tracks, everything will be LED, and we're going to keep on working every year. That doesn't include the broken street light we report every week. We go out and report street light every week. So pretty soon, Calexico will be LED light. I think we're on top of every city in the valley regarding that. DP Duck signs last Thursday, DP Duck was here along the beach canal. They put more DP Duck safety signs. You see them all along the canal. Beach canal, we had a problem with the beach canal. It was going to be underground, but it's too expensive. Several board members wanted the city to pay because the city has to pay 1/4 of it. So we didn't push it, but we're going to do this January with the new board. We're going to ask that the beach canal be relocated to north of the canal in Cloak Avenue. That way it's outside of the city limits, and the city won't have to pay anything. And by doing that, along Cole Road, more development can become, because if you want to build something next to a canal, it's very expensive. The All-American Canal Safety, we want to thank the city for taking the responsibility of taking care of the fence. Kennedy Garden Neighborhood Watch residents have been doing it for 20 years. Our residents are elder now, they can't do that, so we asked IID to ask the city to take its responsibility under a contract. You guys are doing it, thank you very much. We're going to start next month. ya con el cónsul mexicano un proyecto para el canal americano, para cómo se va a trabajar por todo México para to inform migrants about the dangers of the canal. The Calexico space station has been renovated completely from the inside and out. We're working very hard to accomplish our promises and to make Calexico safer and greener. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Our next speaker is George Rashid.
Mayor, council members,
Hi.
thank you for having me. I'm here because of the funds that are apportioned for the downtown or portion. And we're very grateful, that you guys are taking an interest in helping us out and everything. But one of our biggest concerns is that don't close off any of the streets. That's one of our biggest concerns that we have, because if you close off First Street, Second, or any of the other streets that make parks or whatever, on paper it looks very good, but it's failed. Central has failed in Mexicali. The upkeep, the homeless people, everything, it doesn't work out in the long run. But infrastructure, roads, construction, sewer lines. The other thing that we'd like to make you aware of is if you put benches, wherever you're going to remodel benches, bring homeless people and bring a lot of vagrants. So that's the other thing that trash containers are very welcome, but the city has to dump them at least twice a day. The more we put up. And basically, if there's any construction that's going to be done, whoever contractor that you might get, if they could do it at night, would be preferable, especially for the merchants, because right now business is bad because of everything that went out, COVID and everything, and to do it during the day, it'd be more difficult. It'll strangle. But that's about it. And I thank you again for taking interest in the downtown.
Hold on, Mr. Rashid.
Oh, sure.
Thank you. Just want to mention that, because I know Mr. Ali is here with you. We did receive your letter, and we're going to make copies for the rest of the city council members. I just want to tell you that, thank you for submitting that. We express your concern, similar to what Mr. Rashid is saying. We did submit it here, and it was the 31st, we received it through the clerk's office. So we are going to give him copies so we can also read your concerns, okay? Thank you, Ali.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Mr. Javier Lopez. Thank you.
Javier Lopez, 1101 Holdridge Street. I'm here to petition the City Council, Mr. Mayor, about a problem that I have on Holdridge and Andrade. I had talked to Gabriela and the other city manager, Miguel Figueroa, about the ordinance. As you can see on the second page, there's a list about people selling cars in public streets. Persons, unknown persons, well, there's a phone number. Unknown persons come and park their cars right in front of my house. It's a four-corner stop on Andrade and Holdridge, and it creates a hazard, really, because they stop right where the car is. Sometimes there's as many as 4 cars there, and it is a problem. They stop. They even go up to my door and knock and ask me if I'm selling that car. And I did sell cars a long time ago, classic cars, but my own. And now it is a problem. They put a sign, somebody put a sign, the city put a sign up there that says, the ordinance, Municipal Code 10, 24, 210, and it does prohibit the sale of vehicles, but not on my street. And like I said, I had talked to Miguel Figueroa about it, and I think Gabriela read a letter here, and it wasn't added to the list. So that's what I'm asking. Can you please add my street, which is,
Holdridge.
where do I live?
Holdridge.
Holdridge corner with Andrade.
Sí.
That's all I ask. Can you please do that? Thank you.
Sí, señor. Gracias.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. Our next speaker is Maggie Medina.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council members. I'm here representing Calexico Soccer Club. It's been established since 15 years ago, and for all that you know, that binational Copa Binacional is coming up this weekend. So we're requesting funds from you guys to register. We're registering 3 categories. Category 11, 12, which is 2011 and 12, it's $500. Category 13, 14, that's $400. And for category 15, 16, that's another $400. And we're here, myself, I'm a soccer mom, and I'm here to represent the soccer club to see if you guys would be able to help us. And that is it. Yes.
Just to may I ask a clarifying question?
Yes, sir.
My understanding is that Calexico groups were not being charged registration fees?
We are.
We are?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Sounds good.
Second follow question. Did you submit a request in writing by any chance?
We brought a letter.
Okay.
And I have another copy.
Okay, good, perfect, thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll get copies of that. Thank you.
Gracias.
Our next speaker, Diana Nuricumbo.
Hi, good evening. Diane
Good evening.
Uricumbo, 1068 Via Barranca. Last time I was here was 8 years ago, 2014. We were doing a recall for a couple of council members, and one of the main issue was, some issues with the police department and just the way they were conducting things and them going over budget. And so, anyway, I'm back this year because I just have to say that this city has gone so down, so bad, so fast. And I have to tell you guys, because honestly, there's a couple of you running for re-election. I just want to ask you to do some soul searching and ask yourself why you're running. What do you have to bring to the table? What can you do? Just on Halloween night, I live on Hearthstone Estates. We had a mass robbery. I don't know how many reports were filed. Maybe the police chief can tell you. But literally every car in those, I think they have to be how many? 200 homes? Every car was broken into or attempted to be broken into. And why do they do that? Because people know there's no police. Literally, there is a joke about Calexico and Mexicali and El Centro and anywhere around the 30-mile radius that there's 2 cops. And I know it's a joke because I know there's no 2 cops, but literally, that's where we're at. So 8 years ago, the traffic over there on Blair or 98, that's so sad. I feel so bad for the business people that are there. I feel so sad for them. So those of you that are running for re-election and those of you that are still sitting here, ask yourself why you're here. What do you know about making decisions for a city? What do you know about leadership? What skills do you have? I know this is a service. I know you don't get paid a lot, but ask yourself, are you doing a service or are you doing a disservice to this community? Because I don't know when was the last time we had a mass robbery, but if you didn't know about it, you know it now. Maybe you could ask the police chief how many people reported the burglaries, but it was on Halloween night. So somebody from Mexicali, and we know it's from Mexicali because there was a truck that was stolen and found in Mexicali. This must have been a really big band of thieves, professional, I would say, that had the guts to come here and steal because they know there are no cops in Calexico. So I really suggest that one of your priorities this next year is safety. Now, I know there's certain cops here that scream at you and demand in a very rude way that they need more cops, that they need more staffing, but I'm a citizen. Where I live, I think we pay the highest taxes for residents here. We pay that extra tax, I forget what it's called, but seriously, like, I hadn't seen this in such a small city where we actually have mass robbery in one night. So do some soul searching, honestly, and ask yourself why you're here. And ask yourself what you can do for the city, because it's sad. It's very sad what Calexico is like today. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Nope. Okay. Our next item is city manager's report.
Good evening, City Council members. This is going to take me a little bit long to explain. In my city manager report, I would like to announce the state audit report, some of the items, the bullet points. I have them both in English and Spanish. They're available right in front. They're very general. They're not very detailed. Because the report is about 53 or 54 pages. If you have any questions regarding that audit, you can actually contact the state auditors for feedback. But in a nutshell, we at the city are already working towards preparing a plan that is going to be discussed on Monday. How are we going to start addressing the findings for this audit? Part of the approach that we're having is, and just to let you know, some of the findings that we have is increasing the reserves because we don't have enough reserves. That's one of the mayor's findings. Another of the findings is we haven't been able to address the monitoring issues from the grants since 2014. Another of the issues is we claim to have a balanced budget every year, but the balanced budget, it only happens because we're not including all the stuff that we need. So there was not really ever a balanced budget when the state has identified $1.3 million of shortage. There are other items in the list that I would like to go over on Monday in more detail. The presentation will be done in English and Spanish, which is another finding from the state that at least the budget has to be presented in English and Spanish for the population, as the population is have been identified as 90-something% Spanish speakers. So that's for the audit, and I will go into the Spanish in a little bit. I also want to mention that the fire station number 2, we receiving the bids for mold mitigation. It looks like it's not going to be what we thought that it was going to be, because just the mitigation is about $100,000. And the reason why is the roof completely is damaged. We will have to replace it at the same time while we're doing mitigation. So I will come back on Monday maybe to have those bids and get it approved by you immediately, because it exceeds the amount that I'm allowed to approve. Another item also is I think I mentioned, and I'm sorry, I'm repeating myself. I'm going to go for the Spanish version. Para aquellos que vienen hoy, este reporte es con respecto de la auditoría del Estado de California hacia la ciudad de Calexico. En la mesa de enfrente están unos volantes con información en inglés y en español, y hablan acerca de algunos de los problemas que tenemos en la ciudad. A grosso modo, no están detallados. Si ustedes requieren leer la información con más detalle, existe un reporte a nivel estatal con más detalles sobre la auditoría, pero también puede contactar a la ciudad, al estado de California, a la agencia, si tiene algunas preguntas acerca de ese reporte. A grosso modo, la ciudad le han proveído recomendaciones de incrementar la reserva que tenemos como ciudad. Ahorita no estamos abajo de lo que es requerido y eso representa un riesgo, es una ciudad que está en riesgo. Así también están mencionando cosas que no se revisaron desde el 2014 con respecto de subsidios que estuvieron disponibles en aquel entonces y porque tenemos lo que le llaman problemas con el monitoreo de ese programa, nos está previniendo de utilizar programas ahorita y de siquiera solicitar más dinero al estado de California. Hay diferentes programas que no podemos aplicar. Asimismo, nos han requerido que cualquier cambio en el presupuesto, la información esté disponible en inglés y en español, ya debido a que la ciudad cuenta con más del 90% de personas que hablan español. Entonces eso se va a poner disponible. Desgraciadamente ahorita la ciudad no está en la capacidad económica de poder contratar un servicio completo, pero yo voy a hacer lo mejor posible para poderles proveer esa información en inglés y en español. Esta nada más es un reporte general. El reporte de hecho incluye aproximadamente 53 páginas. El lunes de la semana que viene, noviembre 7, a las 6 de la tarde, esperamos tener una junta especial para poderles anunciar cuáles son los primeros pasos que estamos tomando para poder responder a la auditoría del Estado, porque tenemos una fecha límite para hacerlo. Which I forgot in English, we have a deadline to meet to present a report to the state, a plan of how we're going to address the issues, the findings. Así que la idea es de que este lunes nosotros nos presentemos para poder empezar identificando algunas de esas áreas donde tenemos problemas y cómo los vamos a resolver. También les quiero anunciar que la estación número 2 ya estamos recibiendo presupuestos de cómo mitigar el mojo que existe en el edificio y desgraciadamente parece ser que va a estar cerca de los $100,000, lo que quiere decir que reparar el edificio nos va a costar más. Pero no queremos perder la esperanza, es parte del plan también para tener estas facilidades disponibles. Eso es todo. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Collier. Our next item is the commissioner report, and we don't have no commissioner tonight. And then our next item is city council comments and reports of meetings attended. Mr. Ureña?
I'll withhold my comments until my colleagues have spoken.
Okay.
I'll speak
Mr.
last.
Garcia?
Just like many of you also that attended the various events that occurred throughout our city, the League of Cities, Dia de los Muertos, the gala for the CPAL, and then also one event that really caught my attention, and that was the senior citizens dance at the community center. So I had a chance to go there, and it was packed. And I was really happy to see them, and not just see them, but for them to express that it was finally so enjoyable, and they were so happy to be back and having those type of events. And I know that we don't have a lot of money to at least host those events or pay for that. So I know that usually we do this at the end of our meeting. But what I would like to do, because they're also requesting that hopefully we can have a Christmas dance for them. So I did go ahead and ask Norma for the cost of that dance, and she said it's about $800. So what I would like to propose, if doable, from the $500 discretionary funds that each of us as council members have, I would like to put down $400 for that. And if that's not allowable, then I would like to pay it out of my own pocket. So just to make sure that they have a Christmas dance. So that's my report.
Thank you. Ms. Romo?
Mayor Moreno, my report is very long this time. Would
You want to do last?
say
You want to do last?
in Spanish?
¿Quieres el último?
Yeah,
Sí. Entonces, one speak.
it's long.
Yeah.
First Community Prize had a Halloween carnival, which was very good. A lot of children attended. We had the Dia de los Muertos altar that Recreation Department had. I was able to attend a Fit and Healthy fundraiser that Dr. Cristante, the visiting children in our community, they have. And the ribbon cutting for the Veteran Memorial Healthcare District, the National Gala with Mrs. Estrada, the League of Cities, the food bank, San Diego Pantry ribbon cutting, and the park celebration that the check was presented to the city from Mr. Eduardo Garcia. Also, and also with the Halloween dance, I think, like Mr. Garcia said, the Halloween dance was a big impact on us because, you know, we had all the seniors there and they really enjoyed it. And I'm with Mr. Garcia for those 400. I'm also contributing, even if it doesn't come up from the city, my person would be able to contribute with that. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. I also attended some, not all the events, but the good thing about this time is we were very active throughout the community. There's a lot of stuff going on now that we opened up, and especially Dia de los Muertos festivities and so forth. But so we all did our share. I'm really proud of everybody down here that we all attended each event. So with that said, I'm going to leave it to Mrs. You're next. I think she wants to be next, right?
¿Tú primero?
Como quiera.
Lo mío nomás es una oración.
Okay.
You?
Do it, and then yeah, she'll do it.
The only thing I have to report today, lo único que tengo que reportar is I did have a meeting with a downtown merchant that was soliciting also with public safety concerns in the community. The only thing I have to report, as Ms. Esperanza said in her city manager's report, we were a little bit delayed on the audit response and the next quarter budget. That will be appearing on Monday's special meeting agenda. Whatever the topic is, whether it's public safety, recreation, downtown, economic development, the first priority is getting our financial house in order, at least setting milestones and goals, administrative and financial, so that we can then start to, start to make some calculations as to what modifications need to be made. As the audit says, we have a very unreliable, we continue to have unreliable financial data. In order for us to be accurately spending, we have to make good forecasts so that we don't overspend or underspend money that we actually do have and not make the critical investment in our communities. So that's the sequence of events. I do hope that within the next 3 or 6 months, after we've gone through that process, we can start making some critical decisions on public safety and other topics as well.
Yeah. Ms. Collier, please.
¿Cómo se llama ese programa, el Chabelito?
Es el para primeros auxilios.
So this is a prize that Ms. Romo won during the conference and the Parks Conference, and it's a maniquí for, some sort of like a maniquí for practices for the fire department, so I'm giving you this today on behalf of Ms. Romo.
Okay, no?
Thank you, thank you.
And can you give us an idea of what is this for?
I am seeing this here for the very first time, and good evening. Thank you for this. This is awesome. I'm looking at here. It looks like it's a. Let's see here. It's a CPR training mannequin. Oh,
Okay.
good. Yeah. So obviously, the fire department. We run the EMS system out of our fire department. We have the ambulance. CPR is obviously one of the basic fundamentals that every firefighter needs to know. We have to be certified every year, and with this donation, it'll obviously make that process a little easier and a little bit more realistic as soon as I get to check this thing out. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias.
Pues suerte.
The,
En la convención, ajá,
the Parkway Convention,
visité
she
la
won
Cruz
that one.
Roja. Y la Cruz Roja, pusimos un papelito para competir, ¿no? Y, oh, surprise, hablaron aquí y mandaron el regalo de que me había ganado eso.
Muchas gracias. Muchas
Es
gracias.
todo. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Mayor. Voy a iniciar este reporte dando las gracias al asambleísta Eduardo García, que está su representante, Guillermo, por de veras el incondicional apoyo que siempre ha tenido para Calexico. Y gracias por esos 8,5 millones de dólares que se van a aplicar al proyecto del Parque Heber, donde estuvimos ahí pues la mayoría de los City Council, ¿verdad? Y pues mi humilde reconocimiento para el asambleísta García, además por sus consejos, por sus recomendaciones también que le dio a la señora Colio como a nosotros, para ver si podemos obtener más recursos financieros. Debido a que actualmente, como todos ustedes saben, tenemos inflación bastante, estamos queriendo construir cualquier cosa y en menos de medio mes ya eso cuesta el doble, es increíble lo que está subiendo todo y obviamente pues un proyecto de esta naturaleza no es una excepción, o sea, de estos 8 o 5, pues ahí vamos a tener que necesitar más. La prueba está también en el edificio de los bomberos. Prácticamente lo estamos teniendo en todos los edificios que ahorita se están construyendo, así es de que, pues muy agradecida en lo personal, Guillermo, con el asambleísta, porque de alguna manera nos dio la esperanza de que podamos obtener más fondos para poder terminar este proyecto, pues con todas las alzas, ¿verdad?, de precios. También felicito a la directora de Parques y Recreación, la señora Norma Gerardo, por los 2 eventos que llevó a cabo recientemente, por cierto, con muy pocos recursos. Esperanza, la verdad, la participación que hubo de la gente, los niños, los padres de familia, las personas mayores, wow, fue increíble. La verdad, luce un evento con niños, verlos reír, ellos no saben de los problemas que nosotros tenemos, pero mis respetos, me gustó muchísimo el evento. Y pues hiciste milagros con esa cantidad tan pequeña que tenías, más sin embargo, la colaboración que te dieron la comunidad merece todo mi respeto y reconocimiento, muy sinceramente a todas esas personas que participaron y te apoyaron, Norma, muchas gracias. El día de ayer, el Concilio de Artes de Calexico estuvo presente la señora Colio como el mayor y una servidora. A través de la presidenta de ese concilio, la señora Carmen Durazo, se dio a conocer al artista que hará la obra en el asfalto en la avenida Rackwet, una obra que se va a pintar en el pavimento. Claro que primero Liliana Falomir va a tener ahí que arreglar esa callecita. El artista se llama Andrew Armstrong. Él es el que ganó y pues lo felicito, pero también, fíjense, hubo otros artistas que nos dejaron impresionados, Mayor, como Priscila Lasalle, Víctor Rodríguez y Sergio Ojeda. Excelentes artistas que tenemos, de veras, sus obras fueron increíbles, espectaculares y por favor no se me vayan, va a haber más oportunidades, sigan participando, la verdad que sí, ocupamos mucho de ellos. También me dio mucho gusto asistir con los estudiantes de la Facultad de Administración de la San Diego State University, el campus aquí, Calexico, y ser testigo de la apertura del nuevo centro de despensas, Imperial Valley Food Pantry. La misión de este importante programa es proveer nutrición a los estudiantes. Agradezco mucho al regidor Raúl Ureña, de veras, por haber contribuido a este proyecto para que se realizara y fuera todo un éxito. La doctora, ni se diga, Guillermina Gina Núñez, la dean de la San Diego State University, mis respetos, qué apoyo le está dando a los estudiantes. Verdaderamente tengo mucha fe que pues nuestra universidad que crezca con más programas. Estoy muy contenta, de la verdad. También me dio mucho gusto asistir al evento de Heffernan Memorial Healthcare District, como lo mencionó nuestra compañera, la señora Fernández, y conocer, ella también estuvo como directora en Heffernan y una servidora también, conocer que pues se ha iniciado por fin el proyecto de una clínica de emergencias en Calexico. Bueno, esperemos que esta clínica en su tipo, ¿no? Ahora, ¿por qué digo emergencias? Quisiera tomar más la diferencia de emergencias a urgencias. Emergencias, tú vas y dependiendo de lo que tienes te pueden apoyar, o la ambulancia pues es posible que te lleve a un hospital el más cercano, que en este caso es el centro. Y una clínica de urgencias, pues usted la conoce, es como la que tiene el hospital, que ya tiene absolutamente todo para poder ahí reclutar a una persona que vaya grave. Entonces, repito, esta es una clínica de emergencia, me lo ha preguntado mucho la gente, y es otro tipo de clínicas, pero muy importantes. Pueden salvarte de una vida. Imagínense ustedes que hoy en día, no sé si sean las vacunas o no sé qué sea, pero mucha gente ya tiene que le dio un infarto y que se le bajó la presión y que ya no despertó, en fin, puras de esas. Hay manera de poderlos tener en esta clínica y apoyarlos pues antes de llevarlos a un hospital. Y por supuesto, me gustaría pedirle al jefe del departamento de bomberos un plan de cómo pudiéramos nosotros trabajar con eficiencia con la nueva clínica. O sea, me refiero que este tema de las ambulancias, por ejemplo, yo comprendo que con esta clínica, como lo han dicho, se va a reducir el uso de las ambulancias, muy bien, pero también comprendo que se van a ocupar ambulancias para trasladar a algún paciente en riesgo. Entonces, vamos a seguir ocupando las ambulancias, tenemos pocas ambulancias. Me encantaría, jefe Fabila, si nos pudieras explicar la próxima reunión o la primera de diciembre, cómo pudiéramos nosotros ser más eficiente este trato con esta nueva clínica. Y por supuesto que felicito a todos los directores de Heffernan Memorial Healthcare District, a su administrador, señor Virgen, y al personal en general de esta organización. Deseo felicitar también al CPAA, Calexico Parent Athletic Association. La señora Carmen Estrada no está aquí, está ahorita en el hospital con una nietecita, por el evento de la Cena Gala. Estuvimos muy contentos, muy bonita reunión, y por supuesto muchas gracias a todas las personas, a todas las organizaciones que se encuentran ya apoyando esta binacional primer torneo de soccer en Calexico, 5 y 6 de noviembre. Y por supuesto que agradezco de mil amores a la señora Esperanza Colio y a la señora Liliana Falomir, porque la verdad han trabajado para que los parques estén listos, puedan los niños jugar, los equipos. Y también envío un abrazo, una felicitación al superintendente, al doctor Arturo Jiménez, que por supuesto su apoyo en esta organización ha sido clave. Créanmelo que a altas horas de la noche estábamos trabajando el señor Ureña y una servidora con él para tener campos extras que se puedan necesitar para este campeonato. También asistí a la Feria del Día de Muertos, es la primera vez que hago una cosa tan larga, mil perdones. Agradezco a los organizadores de la Feria del Día de los Muertos, y si me permiten, quiero aclarar algo. Este evento, la administración de la ciudad, aquí está la señora Colio, que no me va a dejar mentir, no les otorgó ningún descuento. Ellos pagaron 3,000, creo, señora, 3,000 y pico de dólares. Y bueno, por ahí se dijo que a lo mejor nosotros le hubiéramos dado un descuento. No, lamentablemente no les dimos, porque también había una organización sin fines de lucro ahí. Más sin embargo, yo les agradezco, ¿saben? Vengan de nuevo el próximo año 2023, no se me desanimen, hay que seguir viendo este tipo de fiestas. Al menos a mí me encantó. Hubo mucha gente y mucha participación. También asistimos a la 11ª Conferencia de Liderazgo en Salud Ambiental, que cada año está ofreciendo Comité Cívico del Valle, con excepción de la pandemia, claro. Ahora bien, ciudadanos, a todo Calexico, de veras, tenemos mucho que hacer con este tema, porque necesitamos quitarnos la contaminación de encima, que tantos problemas asmáticos de alergia nos está trayendo. Díganme, ¿quién no tiene un problema ahorita de esta naturaleza? Sinceramente, ya no podemos seguir viviendo con tanta contaminación en el valle. Ahora sí que desde Salton, sí, me refiero a nuestro condado, hasta Calexico y más allá de la frontera, pues lo estamos padeciendo. Por eso es que reconozco y agradezco al señor José Luis Vélez Olmedo, director de Comité Cívico del Valle, por apoyar a esta comunidad fronteriza con este tipo de convenciones. Y ¿saben qué? Me siento con mucha fe, con mucha esperanza que pronto vamos a tener apoyo de organizaciones sin fines de lucro de California para poder mitigar esta contaminación. No puedo decir exactamente quiénes, pero les puedo adelantar nomás que vamos a pedir apoyo a la viuda ahora de Steve Jobs con su organización, que precisamente están mandando recursos billonarios para poder salvar este tipo de ciudades que tenemos contaminación, más esta que estamos abajo del nivel del mar. Ahora bien, lo que la ciudadanía desea conocer sobre el resultado de la auditoría realizada en la ciudad de Calexico como parte de un programa de auditoría de agencias gubernamentales locales de alto riesgo. Es diferente. Hay muchas, siempre hay auditorías, cada año hay auditorías. Esta es una auditoría de alto riesgo. Se le da a las ciudades que tienen alguna problemática o ha tenido. Por supuesto que la señora administradora ya les dio un avance. Vamos a tener el lunes, con el favor de Dios, vamos a hablar más de este asunto. Y por supuesto, algo que necesitamos hacer es comunicarnos con nuestra población en el idioma español. Los números, explicarles el presupuesto, qué es lo que están aportando a la ciudad, qué es lo que se está gastando, qué son los problemas que tiene la ciudad, en el idioma de nosotros, de los que vivimos más del 96% de habla hispana en esta ciudad de Calexico del condado del Valle Imperial. No estoy refiriéndome a otra bendita ciudad de este condado. Estamos hablando de Calexico y es importante que esa gente venga aquí, participe y pregunte. ¿Saben? Mucha gente me dice, no vamos porque no entendemos el inglés. No vamos porque nunca nos dan una explicación en español y sobre todo nos las expliquen a un nivel que la pueda entender la mayoría de las personas. Es que por primera vez voy a felicitar a estos auditores del Estado, bendito sea Dios, que vinieron y nos tuvieron que decir que hiciéramos algo que teníamos que haber hecho toda la vida. Por último, les repito, siempre me ha quedado claro que necesitamos comunicarnos con nuestra población en el idioma español. Necesitamos urgentemente un sistema de traducción simultánea, la señora Colio ya dijo que en eso está trabajando, y también necesitamos tener regidores comprometidos con el pueblo, con los asuntos que son más vulnerables para el pueblo. Por eso les pido a todos los ciudadanos de Calexico que razonen muy bien su voto y por favor, y lo más importante, salgan a votar este martes 8 de noviembre. Que Dios bendiga a Calexico. Gracias.
I'm sorry? What? All right, moving on. The next item on it's the consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent calendar are to be considered routine by the City Council, Calexico Community Redevelopment Agency, successor agency, or Calexico Financing Authority, and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. Any item may be removed from the consent calendar and considered separately by the City Council. Need a motion?
So move.
Moved by Mr. Garcia, second by Mr. Romo. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carried. Matters pulled. Okay, we're at the discussion and potential action items. Number 5, acceptance of the California Library Literacy Services Grant Award in the amount of $44,874 for fiscal year 2022-2023, and authorize city manager and fiscal agent to sign the certification, award agreement, and certificate of compliance, and any amendments thereto, and any related documents necessary to participate in the program.
Second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Arela Fernandez, second by Mr. Ureña. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Thank you. Item number 6, authorize city manager to sign agreement of professional services with SLA Paving Incorporated in the amount of $51,990 to overlay Rockwood Avenue, 1st Street and 2nd Street.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Ureña, second by Mrs. Romo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Thank you. Item number 7, approval of bid documents for Southern California Association of Governments Local Demonstration Initiative Project, Rockwood Avenue, and authorize the Public Works Department to send the project out to bid.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Ureña.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Romo. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, so now we got number 8, and we have 2 public speaking on this item, and I'm going to call. First is Daniela Flores.
Hi, good evening. My name is Daniela Flores from the Imperial Valley Equity and Justice Coalition. And I'm just here to, speak on item number 8, to really lend my support and hope that the council will approve this proposal to waive the fees for the binational soccer tournament, which is a historic event, as has been mentioned. And I just want to just celebrate this moment and the opportunity that this council has to really continue on their commitment to prioritize community building activities, community development activities, and moments for youth to have that opportunity to really pursue their passions, have these memories that will encourage them to continue on these paths of healthy youth development. So I just hope that you all approve this, and just wanted to vocalize publicly my support for this, and grateful for the work that everyone has been doing to make sure that this takes place, including some folks you'll hear from after this, and I look forward to being there, and look forward to hopefully the approval of that. Thank you.
Thank you. The next person is, before I mention her name, it's Citizen for Calexico, and she just recently won the silver medal for mixed martial arts in Hawaii, and we're very happy and very proud to have her here tonight to speak. Please, you want to use this side or whatever, okay? So while you make yourself up there, she was born and raised in Calexico, and during her childhood years in Calexico, but PAL provided the opportunity. She says that Carmen Estrada was very instrumental in her upbringing and got her interested in sports, and eventually became who she is today. So you have the microphone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Major. Good evening, members of the City Council, Mayor, and members of the public and the community. Like it's already mentioned, my name is Fannie Mae Gutierrez, and I am a martial artist from the God's Gladiators Athletics program under Marcos Andrew Navarro, who he is a 4-time world champion in the martial arts of jiu-jitsu and a professional boxer. I have been in martial arts for the past 5 years under the God Gladiators martial arts team athletics, and I have had the opportunity to compete across America. I recently came back from the state of Hawaii, and I placed second in the submission grappling championship. And I am very happy to present this here because, thank you everyone, because I am from Calexico. I was born and raised in Calexico. And for those of you wondering what hospital, well, I was born in the doctor's office. But I was born and raised in Calexico. I attended elementary school here, junior high, high school, and I went to junior college and I played basketball for the IVC. But I'd like to bring you guys back to my most dear memories growing up here in Calexico. And thanks to the PAL, I was able to, play sports, stay focused, and I was able to learn that I have a competitive side. And for that, I am very grateful with Carmen Estrada, who has always advocated for children to have access to sports. I shared that she is so devoted to her teams and to children, advocating for sports, that she would even make sure we had our same shoes, same basketball bags, and same uniforms so that we can look our best when we went out to other counties and states to compete. With that said, I am currently getting ready for a world championship in the state of Texas. I competed already and I placed second place in the world grappling championship in the year 2020, and I placed third place in the year 2021. And now in a few days, I'm getting ready to go to this world championship, and I'm very excited and very motivated to do my best and wholeheartedly represent the community that I'm from, Calexico. I also like to mention and ask the city council if these fees that are being asked for the amount of $935 be waived for the 2022 Bionational Soccer Tournament, just because the fact that you guys will allow children from the community members to actively participate and not have the stress that us athletes have of making it to the next event or making it to the next championship or making it to the next tournament. It would really encourage other children to want to join the program and participate, and ultimately stay out of trouble, stay out of other things that are not healthy for our community. And I'm here for that, to advocate for the possibility of this fee to be removed so that we can continue to provide members of Calexico with the opportunity. I'd like to humbly say that if it wasn't for the Calexico Parents Athletic Association, back when I was young, I wouldn't have the heart to play sports. So it really opens up venues and avenues for our future, which are the children of Calexico. Thank you.
Thank you, Fanny. Thank you. Chief Serrano, you taking applications for police?
Yes.
Good candidate there. Thank you. Okay. I need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve?
Motion is made by Mr. Reyes to approve.
Second.
Second by Mr. Garcia. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Motion carried. Thank you. Item number 9, authorize the city manager to sign the master agreement with Flex Financial Striker for medical cardiac monitors and power load gurneys.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Raul Fernandez, second by Ms. Romo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carried. Item 10, appointed by Mayor Moreno, City Councilmember Member Garcia to the following commissions. I don't have anybody on to appoint yet. Still taking applications for that. Anybody else?
Yeah, I do have an appointment for the Measure H committee.
Okay.
And I would like to appoint Ms. Alison Duran.
Okay. Is she here?
No, she's not.
Okay. So, anybody else?
No, you?
No, I don't have any. Okay. All right. The last item is future agenda items.
And that will be for the 16th, right? Okay, so the plan is the following. In this coming meeting, we're gonna be coming with a plan to begin addressing the issues for the audit. Depending on your approval or disapproval, we're gonna come back on November the 16th with some of those items as resolutions and amendments and all that stuff, so that we can go item by item on some of the items.
Okay.
Some others, you might wanna take an action this coming meeting. Yes, sir.
Ms. Colio, for the meeting that we're having on Monday,
Yes.
2 questions. What is the earliest we can reasonably post the agenda? I know we still have to do some work. What's the time estimate?
Our goal is to post it by tomorrow, so the community has enough time to review the information. I'm just hoping to be having people that help me to do the translation, because we want the information to be in both languages as requested by the auditors, as recommended. So hopefully by tomorrow afternoon or evening, more or less.
¿Le puedes ayudar a traducir?
Yeah.
Con donar tu
Yes.
tiempo? Sí. And that
Sounds
was my
good.
second
It's,
question.
ba-
about the
it's
translation.
basically numbers and names and all of that stuff, but we want to have all the information available. And we also want to do an exercise for a presentation in which you're going to see some of the items that we're addressing and the budget, specifically for the ARPA funding, because you're going to have what is available today that was approved, what is the status, and if you approve something for the plan, what will be the balance, so that you can make those decisions. We're gonna be changing it as we speak, depending on your direction.
For the quarter report, right?
That's one portion, but we're targeting 3 different funding opportunities to address all those issues, and we're talking about somewhere in the $4 million.
Sí lo puedes decir un poco en español porque
Okay.
la idea es
Lo
vernos
que,
en la Junta
lo que
Especial,
estoy
¿no?
tratando de explicar es lo siguiente. El lunes que vamos a tener esta junta, vamos a proponer diferentes opciones de diferentes fondos que tenemos en la ciudad. Algunos de esos fondos son, por ejemplo, bonds, o son pólizas que se tomaran antes en donde hay fondos disponibles, otros son del ARPA, dinero de ARPA, y otros son del General Fund. Va a haber aproximadamente un movimiento de $4 millones para poder remediar varias de las cosas que tenemos pendientes, y también para poder empezar a trabajar en los procesos que el Estado nos está recomendando que tenemos que hacer. Algunas de estas cosas, dependiendo de la aprobación de ustedes o desaprobación, vamos a volver en noviembre 16 con cosas adicionales que a lo mejor ustedes, cuando ya vean la presentación, digan queremos hacer otra cosa o algunas otras sugerencias, y volvemos otra vez el 16. Entonces les voy a pedir, tengo ahorita ya lo del Christmas Dance, el baile de diciembre, eso lo vamos a poner de cajón para el 16, y la presentación de Chief Avila.
Sí.
Pero me gustaría mantener la agenda lo más ligera posible para que nos dé suficiente tiempo a todos, para que así podamos revisar todas las cosas que tenemos pendiente. La auditoría es nuestra prioridad de aquí a diciembre 19.
Sí.
Y de allí tenemos que trabajar durante todo diciembre y parte de enero para enviar algo al Estado de lo que hemos llegado a tener. Estamos, el área de finanzas, le quiero agradecer mucho a la señora Fonseca, porque realmente le hemos estado invirtiendo mucho tiempo, ella, la consultora y todos los demás. Gracias.
Aplauso para
Y el demás personal, porque todos somos un equipo y todos colaboramos.
Ahí está.
Gracias.
Gracias. Thank you.
Okay, anything else? No?
No.
So I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Mr.
Second.
Garcia, second by Ms. Romo. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, meeting closed.